Hi! Happy December! Happy December, witches! I haven't been here in a hot minute, and I thought I would pop on and tell you about a couple of specials I have going this month and recommend some really awesome Christmas presents for the magical book nerd in your life. Hi, welcome to Kick-Ass Switch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you are watching a video about a lot of things, a lot of different things. I haven't gotten to say that in a long time. I have not done a video here with my little opening and my traditional intro, and I felt like doing that today, and now it's night. The sun has gone down, so I drug out my lights, and one of them crashed, and glass went everywhere. So there's a big pile of glass right now happening right over there, and I'm gonna try to ignore it so that I can say everything I want to say to you in what will be a very rambly video. I'm telling you right now, for those of you who don't like just chatty videos, this is a chatty video. Let me start by telling you what I want to tell you right up front about two specials that I'm offering, and then I will get to the chatty stuff and some really fun book recommendations for Christmas, Yule, Hanukkah presents this year for the magical book nerd in your life. I try my best not to have two promotions running at the same time, but because the Wheel of the Year is going all year round, every single year, and every 6 weeks there's another turn of the wheel, sometimes it happens because I have the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year program just ongoing all the time, and winter solstice is coming up. It is here, so I want to give you an amazing special on that. I am knocking 50% off of it for the entire month. So for the entire month of December, if you follow the link wherever it is around here to sign up for the winter solstice module of the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year, you will get 50% off when you enter this discount code at checkout. Saturn. Saturn, all lowercase, no spaces, just the word Saturn. When you check out, it will automatically knock 50% off. So that is an awesome deal. I usually run these specials for a limited time. But because I'm running one on the Queen program as well, I just wanted to make it easy and uncomplicated because the Queen journey, Queen, a 5-week audio journey, I am rerunning that program for the new year for those of you who want to make 2018 the year of the Queen, and the special for that ends December 5th at midnight Eastern time. So you only have a few days to take advantage of that, which maybe I should have mentioned that first. But if you want to get $20 off Queen, a 5-week audio journey at checkout, put Year of the Queen, all lowercase, no spaces, and it will knock $20 off automatically if you're watching this video in a timely fashion. So that's what I wanted to say about that. The winter solstice module is very much geared in preparation for the year ahead. So both of these kind of have a new year theme to them. In the winter solstice module, we work with the idea of light and illumination, feelings, gratitude. Again, it is the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year, so it's how your psychology impacts your spirituality and vice versa. So it's not like which gods and goddesses to work with for this season, or what is the traditional mythology. It's not that kind of wheel. I wanted to create an alternative that is really just about tapping into the vibe of that time of year, the light, the energy, what's going on culturally at that time right now. You know, we're in between Samhain and Happy New Year. If you live in America, you just had Thanksgiving, and we're about to have Christmas or Yule. So there's a certain energy that lends itself that way to kind of cutting loose a little bit, getting in touch with your feelings, and then preparing for the new year. So it's very much focused on that. And then Queen, I will be talking about all month long. So if you haven't heard me talk about it, go listen to one of my most recent podcasts or check out my blog. It's really about taking, at least for the length of the 5-week audio journey, I recommend letting that be a launching pad for the whole year coming up, because the Queen reveals herself slowly over time. It's a developmental process. But if you're looking to become the queen of your own life, to lead a more sovereign life on a personal level, it's about like personal empowerment and having command of your own life. If that interests you, if you're looking to create that kind of energy for yourself in the year ahead, if you're working with the word queen or you're working with the word sovereign or empowerment and you are a woman, this is the program for you. I love it. I think it's amazing. Working with the Queen has completely changed my life. So it is my joy and my pleasure to facilitate that for other women. So those are the two specials. And while I'm talking about Queen stuff, let me grab this. I forget her name. Her company's name is Outie Art, O-U-T-I A-R-T, Outie Art. You can find her on Instagram under that name or on Etsy. She has made a series of oracle cards and they all have this same back, so you can buy the different collections and then put them all to make one like big master oracle deck. I linked to them way back in the day. I used to do something called the Witch List, and I would make these lists often of Etsy things, seasonal. And I've linked to her a couple of times, her oracle decks, but this is the first one I bought for myself because, ooh, this is a good one. It's her Queen deck. It's a Queen deck. I think she calls it I Am Queen, which is interesting because that's the hashtag I've been using. Queen of Self-Discovery. This deck is all queens. So every day is a different queen. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love her work. Queen of Shape-Shifting. I'm just going to show you some of my favorite cards. There's so many. This one's a little like, Queen of Trying to Keep It Together. That's actually not one of my favorites, but just to show you they're not all like super positive. Queen of Adventure. Queen of Resilience is beautiful. Queen of Resilience. What I loved about this is after I had, oh, this one's so beautiful. Queen of Feminine Power. Annika said it had mermaid vibes because she's a mermaid queen, and I totally agree. Queen of Feminine Power. This one. Ooh, Queen of Alchemy. This is the Witchy Queen right here. And look, she has like Medusa-like hair. I just love her. Queen of Alchemy. Okay, I'm going to have to put these down because I'll just show you every single card. This is the last one I'm going to show you. Queen of Creating Beauty, but isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's so pretty. What I love about this deck, which, by the way, does not come with a box or a tin or a bag or anything. It's just shrink wrapped with a ribbon around it, but they're very well made. But what I love about it is after working with the Queen for a year, I wanted to start refining that energy. And I really started focusing on like, well, what kind of queen do I want to be specifically? You might have heard, I just recently did a live broadcast here on YouTube with Chris Ashburn and Joey Morris. And we were talking about all the different ways that the Queen shows up. And the Queen means different things to different women. So to me, this is an amazing way to explore that. Queen of the Underworld. I lied. I said I wasn't going to show anymore, but they're so pretty. I have to. But this would make an amazing gift for yourself. I buy myself Christmas and birthday presents every single year. That way I'm guaranteed to be delighted. And I wrap them, and sometimes I even write myself a little self-love card to go with it. And I'm not even kidding about that. But this would be an amazing gift for, like I said, yourself or someone you know who's going to be working with a word like empowerment or sovereignty or queen in the year ahead, or someone who just needs some of that energy in their life, who happens to love oracle cards. Again, it's Outiart, and you can find her on Instagram or Etsy under that name. And let me have a little Harry Potter book nerd moment with you. For the Harry Potter book nerd in your life, let me recommend Harry Potter, a journey through a history of magic. I bought this when this exhibit came to the British Library. This is a exhibit at the British Library right now, and it shows ancient artifacts, magical artifacts in relationship to the story of Harry Potter, which is fascinating. There's real artifacts, and this book is just a little glimpse into the exhibit here. It's showing you, like, I don't know if everything in the exhibit is in this book, or if it's the highlights of the exhibit. Here's a really old divinatory playing card deck, is what they call it, from a pack of divination playing cards, London, 1745 to 1756. So the exhibit shows real magical artifacts, which I think is fascinating. The book has a lot of illustrations in it from the different illustrators who have illustrated the book series. Sorry, you're backwards to me, so this is hard to do. But my very favorite part of this book that is just astounding to me, that I'll never get sick of, is this. J.K. Rowling, Joe Rowling, shared a lot of the notebook pages and notes that she created when she was developing the wizarding world, you know, in her apartment or in a cafe. And some of the doodles, let me see if I can find a doodle. Like, she would draw her characters. And, see, like this, you can see. Here's some little doodles. And she's actually a really good illustrator, I think. She's done some... She's got a very simple, childlike style, but it's fabulous, I think. I think this is hers. Yeah, this is one of hers. I can't see you. Where are you? Okay, let me see. Whoa! How do people do this? Okay, there you have it. Yay! And then you can see the illustrator that was hired, Jim Kay, to illustrate the recent editions. His work is throughout, too. So this is awesome for the Harry Potter book nerd in your life. And then I have 3 others to show you for the Harry Potter book nerd in your life, because clearly I'm a Harry Potter book nerd. I'll just put these together as one. There are only 3 in this series. This is the Jim Kay illustrated series. They're very, very heavy when you hold all 3 like this. I love it. This is the most recent one, Prisoner of Azkaban. But they're so high quality. They have beautiful ribbons for keeping your place. Gorgeous foil fonts. When you open them up, they're like the best quality a book can possibly be. Like, gorgeous illustrated editions. My son and I have been reading these together very, very slowly. Look at this. It's so fun. There's like little diagrams of the characters and stuff. My favorites, let's see, I think it's in the Chamber of Secrets, are like Diagon Alley. Or, like, there's little cityscapes that are so cool. Let me see if I can find one of those. But these would be gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas presents for anybody in your life that really loves Harry Potter. Look at this. Isn't this cute? I love these village scapes like this. I think they're beautiful. So there's that. The book that made me want to do some book recommendations for the magical book nerd in your life this holiday is this. And it's, again, it has the foil. I don't know if you can see that. So it's like a gorgeous, gorgeous book to give as a gift. It's a hardcover. It has this beautiful, beautiful shimmery cover. It's just magical to look at, and it's magical to read. This is the prequel to Alice Hoffman's Practical Magic, which, if you say that, everybody goes, ah! because everybody loves the movie. But not everybody has read the book. The book is darker than the movie. Hollywood took some liberties with that book to make it more fun and perky, but the book is a little bit darker. This is the prequel. It's the ants story. So the ants are my favorite character besides the house. I feel like the house in Practical Magic is its own character. And all three are in this book, the house and the ants. This is the prequel of their lives when they were teenagers. And they had a brother named Vincent. So there were 3 of them actually back in the day. And I wrote a newsletter when I was about, I don't know, a third of the way through this book. And I said it had a very J.D. Salinger / Wes Anderson vibe, because it does in the beginning, or that's how it felt to me. That's the mood that I was getting. It was very moody, very like these kind of intellectual New Yorkers in the beginning of the 60s, this very quirky, specific world. But right after I sent that newsletter, I kept reading, and the book kind of explodes and opens up into like the hippie 60s, like the summer of love vibe and all of that. And it's interesting how the whole vibe of the book, you're still following these witchy siblings on their journey. It's very magical. It's all about witchcraft and magic and this love curse that they fear. That's really what the book is about. But it takes you through the journey of the 60s in the way that I think Mad Men did, because Mad Men starts in the beginning, in the early days of like the 50s going into the 60s, where everything is like very buttoned up and has a very specific controlled vibe. And then the mid 60s hit and kind of it just explodes everybody's world and really changes them. And this book kind of does that. And that was just interesting to me, that the vibe just like shifts halfway through, but that's what happened in the 60s. And this is an excellent book. It's super witchy, super magical. I highly recommend it to the fiction lover, the book nerd, the magical book nerd in your life. I have 2 other pieces of magical fiction to recommend for the book nerd in your life, or maybe you. This one I recommended at the beginning of the year, the Physic book of Deliverance Dane. This goes back to the witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts, to modern times, and back and forth and back and forth, and it focuses on this really cool witchy book, the Physic book of Deliverance Dane, and an old house, just like Practical Magic. There's a cool old house in Massachusetts that I would have loved to spend more time as a reader in the house. I was very interested in the house, but this book was fabulous, especially because Tanner and I went to Boston and Salem for our birthdays at the end of September. So it was just really neat going to Salem, having read this and having some of that vibe in my head, I guess. I thought a lot about this book when I was there, and I do still have that vlog footage. Editing a vlog, a mega vlog together is really, really time consuming. And I have 2 that I want to make for you before this year is through. So I hope I get like a lot of time to be able to do that, because I like to do it in chunks. Otherwise I just get very overwhelmed by it all. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. The second book, I interviewed Gwendolyn Womack, the author of The Fortune Teller, for my podcast earlier this year. And then I did a book giveaway, so you may have heard me talk about both of these books. But I just want to re-recommend them as gifts, because this is another really magical piece of fiction. It traces the tarot through history in a really fun, mysterious, magical way. So if you love tarot cards, you're going to love this book. I believe. All of these. And because I just did NaNoWriMo, and I'm the big winner. You win NaNoWriMo if you write over 50,000 words in November, which I did, I think, November 27th, 2017. I won NaNoWriMo. But I was thinking, I've never recommended this book. I always, when I talk about being a writer, recommend Robert McKee's book, Story, which is all about structure, which has to do with this. I'll talk about in a second. But I'm a big structure nut. I say story is my Bible as a writer because it is. I'm obsessed with that book. I recommend it to every single writer. But this is one that I haven't recommended here publicly that I also believe every writer should have on their bookshelf. So if you have a book nerd in your life who actually writes books or wants to write books, this would be awesome because it takes a very... is magical the right word? It's the writer's journey, mythic structure for writers. So it's very much about Joseph Campbell's The Fool's Journey. So again, if you're into Tarot and the major arcana, if you're into mythology, folklore, and you're a writer, this would be an amazing book for that person. Whether it's you or a friend in your life, this would be an awesome gift because it's a classic. It's something that they're going to want to keep forever. And something they can dip in and out of on their writer journey. So I highly recommend this for the writer book nerd in your life. And then the other three things are bookmarks. This is from Etsy, and I'm going to show you the back first. Beedoo, because that is the name of the seller. Beedoo, like doobity-doo, Beedoo, and it is Luna Lovegood. I have used her this year in my date book, and I love it because it's magnetic, like that. So it like latches onto the page. Did you see how it just closed like that? It snaps closed, and that's so great for a date book. I just got off a month's theme of talking about planner nerdery, so this is something to add to your planner nerd list, is one of these magnetic, or multiples of these magnetic bookmarks, because if you are a planner nerd, you probably carry your planner around with you and you don't want a bunch of crap like falling out of it as you journey through life. And these stick in there and they don't come off until you take them off. So I found like, oh my God, I love this so much. And I always have multiple books going because I like to research. So I have a lot of nonfiction books going at the same time. Sometimes I try not to have multiple fiction going because once I get into one world, I like to stay there. But I usually have multiple books going. So I got these at Barnes & Noble. They're tiny. Like here's the one from Etsy, just to do a little size comparison. But the same thing, and clearly Alice in Wonderland. The backs of these are adorable. Each one is different. Tick, tick, tick. Aren't they cute? Those are from Barnes & Noble. And then these are from Target. I just got these today at Target because Harry Potter. And these, they had two. They had one that was Harry, Hermione, Ron, and a fourth kid. But I picked this one because these are some of my favorites. This is Tanner's favorite, Hedwig. That is his favorite. Where is Hedwig? You're so backwards. Wait, wait. Wait, in the circle of my hands is Tanner's ornament this year. He gets a new Hallmark collectible ornament every single year, and we try to pick one that represents something that was special to us that year. So this year we watched all the Harry Potter movies. We had a big marathon, and then we went to the Wizarding World. So his favorite character is Hedwig. So he got Hedwig. But I also love Dobby and Hagrid. So this is what I picked out. And again, these are awesome for date planners especially, I think. I want to talk about Saturn, but I'm just rambling and rambling. That's why I showed you this in relationship to structure. So I'll mention Saturn here at the end, but look at me. I think I'm such a genius for coming up with this. I don't always get myself an ornament, but I wanted one this year. And I wanted a Funko Pop Dumbledore. You might have seen I have a Luna Lovegood Funko Pop figure. And she is like the muse of my office, or the queen of my office. She sits on my desk overlooking my office. And I love her because I love Luna Lovegood. But I also, when we went to the Wizarding World, I got Dumbledore's wand, and he is also another favorite character of mine. And so I wanted a Dumbledore Funko Pop Christmas ornament, which they do not make as far as I know. So I thought, maybe I could make my own. But the Funko Pop figurines, they're about that big. They're kind of heavy. They're head heavy. and they don't have like a loop, you know, for a string or a hook on their head. So you would have to get really crafty to make that happen. But then I saw they have these little mystery packs of these keychains, and you don't know which character you're getting inside. But I'm like, I bet if I go to eBay, I could find Dumbledore. So I put in Dumbledore Funko Pop keychain, and sure enough, he came up. So I had my dad with his like super sharp pliers just cut off the keychain part, and he's perfect Christmas ornament size. I think that's like so cool and genius. So hey, if you're a Harry Potter nut, these are at like Walmart and Target and all over the place right now. But if you want to specifically pick out the character you want, just go to eBay and you can make your own Christmas ornament. Isn't that so cute? Saturn, these mala beads I have had for like 7 or 8 years now. They're super sturdy and well built. I love them. I have used the heck out of them. They're my favorites. They're obsidian with red jasper. And those are Saturn's colors. And you might know that I work as Saturn, with Saturn as a guide. And that's partly why I have been a book or a planner nerd for many, many years. But when I started working with Saturn, I became like a mega super duper extra crazy planner nerd because I really got into this idea of structure. And that's why I did that theme in November of planner nerdery. And but something very exciting is happening with Saturn right now. So I did not know I would work with him this long. I thought I would work with Saturn for a little bit of time and then I would move on to another, I don't know, figure in my natal chart or something, because Saturn is featured pretty prominently in my chart along with Venus and Pluto. But Saturn was not done with me. It just has gone on for like over 1.5 years now. And now I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to be working with Saturn for many more years, I think. And something is happening. On December 20th, Saturn enters the sign of Capricorn, which it supposedly rules or is associated with. So it's like its home turf. Saturn is going to be on his own home turf, in the zone, in his sweet spot for a couple of years. And so if you want to work with Saturn, it's an amazing time to do that. I personally am going to be working on healing my spine and my teeth, and which are Saturnian issues. So on a physical level, I'm going to be working with Saturn, and then I'm just going to continue on learning how to structure my life in a way that serves the kick-ass life of my dreams. The sun goes into Capricorn on the winter solstice every year. That's the thing that happens. But this year is very special because, like I said, it's going into also, it's like home turf territory of the sign of Capricorn. So, or Saturn is. So it's just a lot of Saturnian energy. And then that happens in the window of Saturnalia, which is an ancient Roman holiday honoring the god Saturn. It kicks off on December 17th and then goes through December 23rd. And what I love about that is the winter solstice is a time for going into the void, kind of, or the darkness. It's like you have these 3 dark nights, and which is very significant for those of us who are into magic or the mythic journey or something like that. It's like a miniature dark night of the soul where you go into the void and the nothingness and the not knowingness. And then the sun returns with this first little spark of light. And then the year progressively gets light from there. So we have the darkest night of the year, these 3 nights where there's like darkness, the 3 darkest nights of the year, and then the light returns. It's very symbolic. I believe that the Christian religion is based on astrotheology, so we're talking about the Son of God being born, which is really the first light of the sun, and we start that half of the year where we go from darkness to lightness. So it's very special and symbolic, whether you're a Christian or you're a pagan or you're an atheist who just enjoys the symbolism of that time. I think it's really powerful. And one of the things, there's a lot to love about Saturnalia. It's a really funky holiday, but it's described sometimes as being very like carnival-like and just really crazy, lots and lots of partying. And what's really interesting is it was a time when masters and servants would flip the script, and so the masters would serve the servants, and they were all considered equal just for Saturnalia. And so I think it's an interesting time to think about the roles you play in your life and maybe flipping the script on that just for a minute, just to see your life through a new paradigm, and also a time to just like completely let go and go a little bit crazy before you like pull it back together like Saturn wants you to do, and get like very structured with your life. But a lot of times when we talk about letting go or releasing that which no longer serves, it has this really heavy connotation. Like there might be crying. It might be this very deep process of like releasing something really heavy. But when I think of Saturnalia and I think of letting go, I think of just like, whoopee! Like letting go of your inhibitions, letting go of the role that keeps you trapped and caged, and which is like, Saturn can be a very confining figure, so it's neat that it just has this like release like once a year, and I think once a week, because Saturday is Saturn's day, so you can get into a rhythm of that. And I think I'm really going to start working with Saturdays as Saturn's day, so I can keep that rhythm going in my own life and explore Saturn from a new angle that I haven't done in the last year and a half, a new way to look at it. So I'm very excited about this particular piece of astrology and tradition layered on top of the winter solstice this year. So if you made it all the way through this, thank you. Thank you so much. There's my little Christmas tree. There is Velma. I'm going to call her the Christmas witch right now, Le Befana, but she actually hangs out with us year round, but she has like a little Christmas sign on her right now and a ribbon. So right now she's Le Befana, the Christmas witch. And until we meet again, much love to you. Peace.